Hey, what's up? I'm David Taub. Welcome back to our next video in our series of learning to play the guitar fast, fun, and easy. I'm David Taub, co-creator of nextlevelguitar.com. We're working on our 3 goals to get to the point where you can play songs. You should have watched the last video where you've just learned some strum patterns and you've learned to play rhythmically. And now we're going to take on a new goal, and that is changing chords. And there's a lot of techniques I'm going to show you about the proper way to change chords, so you want to make sure you get these down because it's going to make your guitar journey easier and take a lot of the frustration away. Also, download our free ebook by clicking on the link and following the screens that are on that page. And what that has in it is I have a lot of chord changing exercises and a review on the proper chord changing techniques, as well as there's chord charts and other diagrams in that book. It's a great book that goes along with this beginner series. So I'm going to teach you good chord change mechanics, how to practice chord changing. We're going to start to take the chords that you learned in those pairs and practice changing those with the strum patterns. And we're building, remember, we're building this solid foundation so you can keep on traversing that staircase, getting to where you can play songs. Because once you get to the point where you could change chords, you could be playing songs. Because what are songs but strings of chords together, right? Where you're changing from one to the next. And in many instances, it might only be 3 or 4 chords in a song. A lot of songs have only 2, 3, 4 chords in them. And you could be doing it. Now, obviously, there's lyrics on top of that and melody lines. But as far as the music, the chords, man, fast, fun, and easy once you get these techniques down, once you get this chord changing principles down. Remember, you're still working on your chords, and you're working on that good fret hand technique where your wrist is down, your fingers are cupped, you have this little pocket in here, you're not hitting strings that you're not supposed to be hitting, getting dead strings, you're on your fingertips, you're pressing down right behind the frets, not way in back of them, right? You're getting those notes to ring true. Your hand is not coming apart. You're keeping it in a nice tight cluster with the pinky finger hitching a ride on that 3rd finger. And you're keeping that hand as close to the strings at all times as possible, like it's magnetically attracted. And let's take that first 2 chords you learned, E minor and A sus2. Right? Again, notice the wrist is down. My fingers are really cupped. You have the little pocket in here. I'm on my fingertips. Pinky attached to the 3rd finger. Everything is close to the fretboard. All right? If I just drop the 2 fingers out so you could see better. If I change from E minor to A sus2, notice all I'm doing is I'm kind of sliding my fingers down on the strings. I'm not coming out. I'm not breaking my hand apart. I'm just sliding down. I'm using this concept I call clustering. For some changes, when your hand is in a certain voicing that works for the next chord, you leave it there. All right, and a lot of students come apart and then just to come right back together again. So what you want to do is just go back and forth at first, 1 strum each. E minor, A sus2. Notice how economical those movements are. Back and forth. That's good change. That's called practicing your chord change mechanics. And this is the template that you're going to use for all your changes up front. 1 strum each at first. When you get that, try a quarter note, 4 downstrokes. Down, 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 down. Change. Try not to hit that low E string on that A sus2. Down, 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 down. And you're changing chords. Then the next thing to do, and again, this is the template you should use for all your changes at first, is try it with that rhythmic strum, all downstrokes. The one we're doing down, 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 down. With that chord change, nice and slow, it'll sound like this. E minor, down, 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 down. A sus2. E minor, A sus2. Right? We're changing chords. We're playing songs that sound musical. That fast. But again, this is all it is. These economical movements, okay? If you want, you could go from that A sus2 to that A minor 9 and just get used to that's that 3rd chord you learned, right? Get used to sliding along those strings, right? With the quarter note. teaching you this to keep your hand in that same cluster. Maybe we'll go back to E minor. A sus2, A minor 9, A sus2, E minor. Right? So when I went A sus2 to E minor, notice you got to come up a little bit, one string each, and over. I kind of do that diagonally, but notice wrist down, third finger has that pinky attached to it. I'm cupped. I'm never apart like this, or the hand is never coming out. And that's the way to practice your good chord change mechanics. Take the next two chords, E major. And the next one you learned was A minor. Same thing. Then you start with just one strum each. Let it ring to hear them all. Notice I am not doing this. I am not taking, you don't want to take the hand apart. As soon as you do that, you're dead in the water. Everything stays together in this cluster principle. See that? It's a very economical movement. Just practice that, moving that hand, getting that muscle memory down. Then go to quarter notes. Same template we did with the last change. Then with the downstroke strum, so it has some rhythm. Keep that pinky tight. Then if you got the other strum down, the down, down, up, down, up. Stay 2 measures per chord. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down. Do the same thing. Next chord, D to D sus2. Right? And then maybe do it with a strum pattern. Down, down, up, down, up. We're playing music. Now A. A sus2. Take off that third finger. A. A sus2. Back to D. See what I did there when I changed from A to D? Notice I had to pick up some fingers. It's not all, straight like the other one where you just drop down. Here, I had to kind of move that second finger to the high E string and third finger to the third fret of the D string. But again, notice I'm not doing this. A, and then let's see, okay, D, 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 D. There. You move all your fingers. Try to get it so you can move them all at once. Just practice the mechanics at first. All of them at once. Look how economical that movement is. Keeping them together. Almost sliding them on the strings. C to A minor has shared fingers. That's what I call shared finger. Notice the C chord, A minor, all we have to do to change is you're just going to move that third finger and just put it right there underneath that second finger on the second fret of the G string. You don't have to go C, then play A minor, take your whole hand apart, and then find A minor. The fingers are shared. I call that shared finger. That's another one of my chord change principles. Now I have to shimmy. My fingers are pretty big. I'm a big guy, so I have to shimmy down a little bit to fit these two into that fret, but I'm not taking that finger off. So just practice back and forth. And then when you're up to it, 4 downstrokes. 1, 2, 3, 4, change. 2, 3, 4, C. A minor. When you get good at that, try it with the strum pattern. The 2 fingers stay down. That shared fingers is a very critical technique. It's in a lot of changes like G to to C add 9, right? All we're doing is we're dropping the first and second finger down one string each. G, C add 9. Just practice back and forth. Good chord change mechanics. Sitting on the couch, you're practicing your changes. Then try it with your pattern. Right, back and forth. At first, when you're doing that pattern, do 2 measures each, or 2 times through the pattern. A little longer on each chord. Down, up, down, up again. Down, down, up, down, up. Change. Down, down, up, down, up. Change. Right? Down, down, up, down, up. These are the principles that are going to help you with any chord change. Look at those shared fingers. Now what if we go to D chord next? Now notice C add 9, when you analyze that chord change to D, I could leave that third finger down, right? But practice it like this first, because at first you might not be able to move your fingers at once. It'll be more of a one at a time thing, but you want to really try to get those fingers working. It's going to take time. This isn't overnight, right? Then you could go G, C add 9, C add 9, G. Sounds like a song I know, right? C add 9, D. Practice all their changes. Look at those exercises I have in the ebook. Keep at it. You can do it. And remember, really economical movements, sliding on the strings, not out, not apart. As soon as you do that, you're dead in the water. Isn't that fun? And how quickly, aren't you amazed that you could be playing music, you know, now that you're playing rhythmically from the strum patterns we learned, and you learn some chords, and now you're changing chords. Having that structured plan is so important. You know, even if you've never picked up that guitar before, you know, I've seen students go through this process a million times. I've seen the joy that guitar brings to them, and you'll be playing for the rest of your life. You'll be hooked. It's infectious. I want you to keep practicing the right things like I've been showing you, the right techniques. Go through those chord changes that I have in the written lessons in that ebook. Keep practicing the chord change mechanics back and forth like I showed you in this lesson. Even if you're sitting there in front of the television, you don't have to have dedicated guitar time per se. Just sit there and go through the movements. G, C add 9, G, C add 9, back, forth, G, D, G, D. So much is just this muscle memory. C, A minor, C, A minor. Try to do 5 minutes a day or so on chord changing, just that good chord change mechanics, back and forth. Or if you're sitting there in front of your computer, you know, downloading music, you have a few minutes, grab your guitar, back, forth, back, forth. Get this muscle memory is half the battle, just getting that to the point where it's automatic. And you could do it, and it's not going to take that long if you follow these steps. So keep practicing those chord changes, and practice the way I showed you. Once you have some of these changes down, you know, once you get G to E minor down, it'll be in your back pocket forever. Any song you see that has a G to E minor change, and that's a very common change, you'll be able to play it. Any piece of a song that has a G to D, such a common change, you'll be able to play it. So you could start looking up on the internet your favorite songs, grab the tabs, and start playing them. And you could do it. Keep pushing yourself. Remember, once you have a chord change down and you're confident you're hitting it most of the time, keep practicing it a little bit, but go on to the new ones. You know, don't keep doing exactly what you do, and no, you have to push yourself to that next level. That's what's going to keep getting you better and better and better and faster with your changes, and learn more strum patterns. Keep learning chords. Follow these. You're on the right track. So glad that you joined us. I'm David Taub, co-creator of nextlevelguitar.com. I'll see you soon. Keep on rocking. Send us an email if you have any questions. Let us know how you're doing. We'll see you soon. See you in another lesson. Take care and rock on.